I do that, I can't see the screen. Thank you, Safari. Let's see if I can get Chrome to work. Now it goes to my bank. If I do that, I can't see the screen. Thank you, Safari. Let's see if I can get Chrome to work. Now it goes to my bank. Hold on, I'm having problems. Where is... There we go. Hold on, I'm having problems. Where is... Okay, now we get rid of Safari. Always fun. That's why I want a 7. One day I want a 75-inch 4K set. So maybe there's enough room in the screen. Hello, this is George Senda, Playback Technology. Once again. So maybe there's enough room in the screen. Hello, this is George Senda, Playback Technology. The guy from Pittsburgh, except no cheesy Apple-driven software. Hello, this is George Senda, Playback Technology. The guy from Pittsburgh, except no cheesy Apple-driven software. What is going on here? Hold on, I'm having an issue here. Let me see what can I... Oh, it's redoing it, which is... Hold on, I'm having an issue. The hell? It looks like it's doing it in Safari too. I gotta shut all this stupid stuff off. Hold on. Oh, now it's doing it in Safari. Okay, I turned that off. That's why. I got stereo. Okay. Finally got that stopped. Oh my God, it's got a disc. Good Lord. Okay. I went downstairs to check the mail and something had still not come. And I got a book on alchemical psychology and a Bill O'Reilly book I didn't have. And this was sitting downstairs. This is very, very retro. And they were bought first by H&R Block. Then they were sold to somebody else. And then Verizon, which seems to be gobbling up everybody at one time, bought AOL and bought their CompuServe division. And back in the 2000s, I was on AOL, CompuServe, Prodigy, and earlier the Well, a local Bay Area bulletin board or internet system, or the early days of bulletin boards. I think maybe before we had the internet. I don't remember. But this was downstairs, and I go like, why was this on somebody's shelf? I have old computer books. I'm guilty of it too, but this is really old. Computer, stop! And I wish that thing would shut up when I mention certain words. This is the CompuServe user guide from 2000. Now, whether or not this was Y2K compliant, I don't know. This guided tour of the service, and they started shutting down CompuServe in France, Australia. It was mostly business users, a couple million business users. This still has the CD in it. Never opened. And they said the CompuServe would not work on Windows Vista, but apparently there's a workaround it. I did a quick look on Wikipedia. My mouth isn't working again. So this really blows my mind. Your guide to a great time online. Opened the book and discovered what you need on CompuServe fast. Enjoy unique service found only at CompuServe. Keep in touch using emails, chat, instant messaging. Make the use of their forums, which they shut down. Great deal on CompuServe channels. Give your career and finance a boost using CompuServe tools. Explore your interests and hobbies. Help your kids surf safely. This was $24.95, brand new. So this is 23 years old. And from Bowen Publishers, CompuServe Press. So why this whistleblower sitting in someone's apartment? There's a bunch of books downstairs. Wait a minute, it has a bookmark. They apparently, what is this? Your very own HD movie library from Stars for $29.95 a month or $34.95. So this is amazing to me. This is 23-year-old book for a service that doesn't exist anymore. It all got merged in AOL, apparently got merged into Yahoo, and then Yahoo was spun off. And then the other problem I'm having with today's computing, I got an email. Hello, Gadeep Singh. How are you? Welcome. I get an email from my credit union. Your payment on February 2nd mailed to one of your credit cards was lost. They took from February 2nd till today to tell me it was lost. If you wish to call our customer service, the problem with calling their customer service is, and you want to stop this payment, call us. But you call the customer service, they give the usual excuse that due to COVID, we're short-staffed, and you spend 45 minutes on the phone and you can't get a hold of anybody. So I called the credit card company. They got my payment from March. My payment from April is pending April 5th. And I told them, you never got a payment in February because the bank lost it or the mail lost it. This is the kind of stuff that drives me crazy. And I know one thing about India. I had a friend, Maroney, who worked at Western Union for years. The last telegraph message in the world was sent. They have a historical thing in India. The last telegraph message, the last telegram was sent in India years ago in the world. Even though the wires are still out there, there's no telegraphy. Although Western Union still exists, not the company, they went bankrupt as a place to buy and send money. But India sent out the last telegraph message. And you go along the rail lines in the United States, the telegraph wires are still up. Some of them have come down, but they're still along the railroads. So this is what drives me crazy. The banks lose my payments, and then I get yelled at by the credit card company. We haven't gotten your payments, and we're assessing a late fee. And I'll have to call them back and then say, you charge me a late fee? And then I'll have to get a copy of the letter or get a letter from the bank saying, we lost your payment, and send it to the credit card company. And this is why I go crazy. Because I got to waste more time, not that I do anything, to watch YouTube and sleep and get food poisoning and have bronchitis. It's a lovely warm day out there. No rain. Finally, but we're getting rain again tomorrow. And I've been waiting for two things to come in the mail that they told me would come today. Well, they haven't come today, and they're going by slow snail. They may have gotten lost too, for all I know. The mailman 2 weeks ago put my cat food in the wrong box, and someone stole it. So every time I feel like a fire brigade, a one-man fire brigade. Every time I put a fire out over here, there's another fire breaking out over there. Another problem. And yeah. It went up 5 degrees since my last video. So a heat wave has hit Martinez, 59 degrees here. They said possible rain, but definitely rain tomorrow. And then I think next week there'll be 1 day of rain. And then according to the Weather Channel, we're going to have no rain for 2 weeks. We get a nice sunny day. My poor cats are going stir crazy. And little girl went somewhere. Here's Fluffy. Fluffy the cat. The most upset cat in the world for going out. And my cats turned 22 last year on Halloween. Okay, Fluffy. So, there's Fluffy. And little girl is an all-black cat. No. That is a figure of speech because I have put out a fire once. In 1977, I was still living with my mother, and 2 gay guys were living next door to us. and one got a check for $100,000 to open up the post exchange at the Army post. The Presidio was still open. He got $100,000 to start a garden center in the post exchange, and his lover clobbered him over the head, forged a check, and set fire to the apartment. I'm sitting in the bedroom, my bedroom. We had a huge 3-bedroom apartment in the corner on the 6th floor. And I got the windows open. It was a hot day that day. Hot evening, about 6, 7 o'clock at night. Windows are wide open. I'm typing my schoolwork, my college work. And someone yells fire from across the building across the street. Their windows were all open too. I said, fire? What fire? Your fire. Where? Your apartment. Where? Kitchen. I go into the kitchen. I see my mother who was in the living room, and I hustle her out. She went down the elevator and she had her first stroke because of the fire. She got so excited she had a stroke. In the meantime, in the few minutes it took her to get down the elevator from the 6th floor to the 1st floor, the smoke was so large I could not see the exit door. It was literally across the hallway from could not see the fire exit in big red letters of light, could not see the stairs, could not see the carpet, could not see the walls. But the fire hose was there, so I opened the cabinet. Some places lock the fire hose cabinet, which is kind of dumb. You means you got to find something to break the glass, and I trained the hose in the door to try to tamp down some of the smoke until the fire department arrived. They were 2 blocks away, and they took about 20 minutes to get there and what they were doing. We constantly heard fire engines. My mother lived in that building for 70 years. It wiped our kitchen out, and we had to wind up moving to the 3rd floor. Fluffy's fine. So never worked with a fireman, but I hung around firemen because I was an extra in the movie The Towering Inferno. Never go in the corner of California and Kearny Streets in San Francisco at midnight, because that's where they filmed the opening scene after the helicopter comes to the building, the dedication ceremony, the actors, the extras, the film crew, the firemen were all freezing at midnight. It was ice cold because the wind comes off the bay from one direction, down California Street from another, up Kearny Street. Our teeth were chattering. You can't see me. And the fireman came to the apartment and said, what the hell are you doing in the hallway? Well, I couldn't see my way out, and I figured I'm going to burn. At least I may well try to put the fire out. They managed to put the fire out. That apartment was gutted. And I've had another fire. I was at school one day across the bay in Oakland at Laney College. I'm dead tired. So I come home and I go to the store where I work part-time in exchange for food. And I go to the guy, got a sandwich to order, and said, I'm going to go up and go to bed. And that was like a comedy routine. You can't go to bed. What do you mean I can't go to bed? You had a fire. What fire? Your fire. Your apartment caught fire. I went, oh my God. My friend Glenn lived next door. He had a key. He rescued my 4 cats. My apartment was gutted. So now I was an extra. I'm not a famous movie star, but I got paid $75 a day for extra work. When my rent was $100 a month, I had no credit cards. I had no bills except the electricity, food, cat litter, and laundry. Those were the halcyon days, and I worked on streets of San Francisco as an extra. So I would make $150 a week. I'm in crowd scenes, but you never see me. I'm like the Phantom. But that was good money back in the 70s when the buffet was $1.99, dinner was $2.49, and the bus fare was $0.25, and box seats at Candlestick Park. In a year that Giants lost 110 games, I used to go out with Glenn, my dear friend who died. We knew each other for 30 years. He died at 65. Had a series of heart attacks and was a lot overweight than I am. And it was $7 for box seats. So, yeah, Glenn was a hero. He saved Squirt and Lilliput and Trippy. And I cannot remember the 4th cat. It's driving me crazy. But after 46 years. It's driving me nuts. The fourth kitty. My girlfriend Julie said, "Would you watch my cats for a week while I go to Oregon?" And I wound up with I moved to an apartment after that fire. Red Cross gave me $80 for the fire, which really irritated me. And that's not enough to move. So I had to take, and the fire department came in, and I had a 4-drawer, $1,200 fireproof filing cabinet to keep my fanzines in and important papers. They took an axe to it and doused everything and ruined it. And I raised hell about that. I said, "You took a fireproof filing cabinet and ruined it with water? It wouldn't have caught on fire. It was rated for 1,200 degrees. And then it took me 9 months to find out from the San Francisco Fire Department, my tromping down to their headquarters and raising hell about it, what caused the fire. And they told me it was caused by probably smoking in bed, except for one thing, I don't smoke. I wasn't home. And the owners of the building had just gotten an order to put in sprinklers, fire exit signs, extinguishers, alarms, smoke alarms. They got 80 grand for that fire. I'm convinced to this day they set the fire. They knew they knew my movements. They knew I wasn't home. They knew me and Glenn. Glenn and I used to paint the apartments when someone moved out in exchange for rent or free rent. So I just bought a brand new correcting selector 2, a brand new television, a brand new stereo. All that was burned up. You should have seen, you've never lived, you saw a stereo melted. And all my clothes were salvaged by using, I don't know if you have that in India, I used Arm & Hammer detergent, and Arm & Hammer detergent booster comes in back then a blue box. I think it now comes in a yellow box. It got all the soot out except for one shirt that was too burnt to save. So all my clothes were saved by my mother. Took all my clothes and washed them. So I don't like fires. There have been 4 fires in my life. 2 as a child. And but this is the craziest I could deal with. Credit unions losing my money, mail not arriving, cat food being stolen. He put it in the wrong box. Someone stole my meow mix for the outdoor kitties. All the kitties were fine. I fed Mama Cat and Kitten this morning. I will feed Fluffy and Little Girl. Where is Little Girl? Oh, she's sleeping on the Steelers blanket, hidden. She's stealth kitty right now. I'm not going to wake her up. She's an all-black long-haired cat, and my sweetie. So, sadly, in the 80s, extra work declined in San Francisco, and then I moved to Sacramento. And then I moved to Roseville, and then I moved back to San Francisco to meet my mother in 1990. Didn't want to move in my mother. I had to. I was being threatened with something and by my apartment manager. And I told his wife why, and her jaw dropped. And I moved out. I missed out on Section 8 because I panicked. I said, I got to get out of here before this guy does something crazy. So after living there for about 6 years, I moved. And if I'd gone to my appointment for Section 8, I'd be on Section 8 right now. Everybody always asks that. I'm not going to go feed the cats right now. I'm going to do this video and go to the store. I need cat litter. I was going to go to the credit union today, but it's too late. So I needed to go get cash, which is just as good as money. And according to the late Yogi Berra. And I sent a letter to Kathy because her phone wasn't working. Her landline died. Her phone died. Her cell phone died. And I marked it with her address, and one of the numbers was off slightly to the left. I didn't realize it. I can't see what I'm running all the time. They returned it as undeliverable, which also drives me nuts. So, it has been raining too damn much, and I'm not going to take my iPhone out in the rain and have it ruined. And then when it's not raining, I forget to grab my iPhone. Now, I charged my, if you watch the other videos, I have 3 of these because I misplaced the little cable. I'm going to give one of these to Kathy when I get oh, that's weird. If the YouTube window goes over something is flickering. I don't know why it's flickering. I thought it was a YouTube window. The light is flickering. Why is the light flickering? Let me see if no, it's still flickering. The OBS window is flickering, which drives me a little crazy. Anyway, I need a 5-watt charger. So, oh, you won't see live cat feeding. This one said 100%. Let me see if you can see this. This is an INIU, or I think. No, IHIU charger. This will charge iPads, Android phones, and iPhones. And the reason I like these were about 22 bucks on Amazon. They have a newer one. It shows how much power you have, so you don't guess. You don't have I have my Anchor charger. It has lights. I like these for that reason. I'm going to give one to Kathy because she goes, "What do I do about my cell phone if it runs out of power?" Now she's the most technophobic person I know. But I will find an extra 5-watt charger. I think this one, being in trouble with this very small print they put on Apple devices, which drives me also nuts. So I can't see it. I have a magnifying glass. My mother, I don't know where it went to either. It might be in Kathy's house in boxes that Patty and her took out. No, I cannot read this. I'll have to take I have a light with a magnifier. This may be a 5-watt charger. And if I have an extra one, this is for the older iPads or the older iPhones, I think. I'm going to grab all my chargers and go to Apple. Ask for help. I can't read the print on this. Can you help me? I have tons of chargers here for all kinds of devices. And the dead pair of AirPods, the battery may have died. So, no, I was not smoking in bed. I wasn't there. A little hard to smoke in bed when you're not home. I was, I don't know, 10 miles away, Oakland. So, I was in college attending class when the fire happened, and I smoked one cigarette for about 30 seconds when I was 10, and it was one of my mother's Kents that I and a friend took, and he took a puff, I took a puff and threw up. It's the only cigarette I've ever smoked except for candy cigarettes, which don't count, or props on stage with fake smoke. Prop cigars and prop cigarettes when I did acting. And I was in one movie, a movie called The Monk, but sadly, I should have had Janet Leigh, who really liked me, have the director make sure my scene wasn't cut. I had a scene where I'm walking down Powell Street and they cut it. This is a made-for-TV movie with George Maharis and Janet Leigh as the female lead, and he's a detective in San Francisco. And it was for ABC Movie of the Week, and they cut my scene. So that was my chance to be actually in a motion picture, and that was most annoying. I went down to Fort Point. In those days, we lived on Greenwich Street, I think, or maybe on Union Street. I can't remember when it was. Still living, my dad was alive, I think, and I know he got mad at me. He had to be alive before 72. I don't remember when this movie came out. And I'd have to look it up. I can look it up. The video is finally out. Someone published the video. Someone has put the video on DVD. So, Trump issues, Laura Trump issues warning. Okay. I went to Fort Point for some reason. I used the Presidio as my playground before the Army post left 6th Army. My dad was in the Army for years. He used to go to the NCO club and take me along. He was very good at making money on pinochle. So I went to Fort Point for some reason that night. It was ice cold. Oh, I'd read it. I know why. I'd read in Herb Caen they were filming a movie at Fort Point. So I decided to go down and look. And it was about 2 in the morning. My parents didn't care how late I was on a weekend, where I went, as long as I came home. I'd already done my homework. So bicycled down there. It was freezing, and they had a barrel with wood in it. They were still freezing cold. Very foggy and cold, and the bay surf comes up and gets the parking lot wet. Their teeth are chattering. They're trying to film scenes. And they said, "What are you doing here?" "Well, I hang around here, and I heard you were filming a movie." And Janet Leigh came up to me, and she was very nice and very sweet. And it turned out that Janet Leigh and I had something in common. She had played on stage at the Pittsburgh Playhouse, where I took drama training in the young students division there. Pittsburgh Playhouse had been torn down by the evil college that bought it. So I can't show you the Pittsburgh Playhouse except in pictures, and the Pittsburgh Playhouse was haunted. It was partly an old synagogue. On the street that we wound up living at one time, and across the street from McGee Hospital, where I was born, and Joe Hammer Square, where we lived for a time, next to the car dealer, Don something, I can't remember the last name, Chevrolet dealer. I used to sit in the new cars when I was a little kid, like 5 years old. New Chevys, 57 Chevys that are worth a fortune. So she took a liking to me. I said, "I'll be back." So I went to my dad. He was working as a chef, and I took a case of sterno out of the closet. They were both sleeping. Normally I woke them up at night when I went to make a sandwich. Well, I didn't do that. I parked my bike downstairs. Back then in the 60s or 70s, no one would steal your bicycle in San Francisco, even in the middle of the night. Hopped in my bike again, rode down Union Street or wherever we were living at the time, and down to Greenwich and down through the Presidio and down to Fort Point, and said, "Here, this should help. Someone give me a spoon." So I'd forgotten to grab a spoon. So I took all the cans of sterno, popped the lid, and threw them in the fire. Well, the fire went up about 40 feet. It was about 12 or 24 cans of sterno, and the trash can got red hot, but everybody was huddling around the trash can. "Oh, thank you." They said, "Would you like anything to eat?" They had a craft table there. They had hot soup. They had hot chocolate, hot coffee, hot tea. So Janet Leigh treated me like I was king, and she really liked me. But if I'd been older, I would have said, "Can you make sure my movie thing doesn't get cut?" That was the only film I've ever been in. But I am on television somewhere. And you can't see me in the bleacher scene. I'm there with Glenn and a neighbor. We all got hired for extra work. And in the Towering Inferno. When I watched them film part of that, get yelled at by the director. I got away to camera without thinking. He was filming the fire engines coming toward California Street, going down Kearny. And I went and tromped around and saw where the fire stations were. So the opening, Fred Astaire gets out of a cab and gives the guy 95 cents and no tip, and walks up the steps. There was a Bank of America building at the time. They used the lobby as the entrance, and then the interior elevator scenes were the Hyatt and Embarcadero, and all the sets were done in Los Angeles. So that's my movie history. So anyway, that's what's going on. But I have no working iPad, and the iPhone is not working as a phone. It's got the track phone chip in it, and I would have to switch it to T-Mobile, and I can't see having an iPhone 7 go live when I could buy an iPhone 8 or an iPhone 10 or whatever it's called. And I plan to buy a refurbished iPhone this year, so I cannot afford a new one. I sure cannot afford a $1,000 phone, and I wouldn't spend $1,000 for a phone. So, San Francisco looks like a ghost town. So many stores are out of business, for lease, massive crime and shoplifting, homeless everywhere, homeless sleeping in doorways, homeless in tents. My mother lived in the one building for 17 years and our apartment on Bush Street for 27 and died. She had a heart attack and a stroke after a fall, and she died at 94, and I watched her die for 9 days. It was horrible. So I did not, the trolls that killed my parents, it was ridiculous. So I've had $11,000. I have a picture on one of my computers that died. If I can recover the picture of me holding up, but it reversed the picture. I didn't know about reversing the picture back. I'm holding $11,000 in my hand, the most money I've ever had in my life. We got an insurance settlement when some guy, Kathy, parked at Nobile Foods, one of the local grocery chains here, to get peaches. I told her the wrong store. She pulled into the parking space and hadn't even got out of the car yet. Guy in a Jeep next door parked to the right. He puts his car into four-wheel drive and drove over the back of the right rear fender of our Prius. And she's in hysterics. And I got a call, and it's the guy. And he says, your girlfriend's here. She's yelling and screaming and crying, and I don't have to talk to you. I said, well, you better talk to somebody, because she talked to me on your, called me up with another phone, and she's crying. You drove her over our effing car. So, well, Progressive paid us in 3 days. So we bought another Prius with that money, which didn't run right. We bought Priuses that people didn't maintain them. We had one car hit by a driver who came off the freeway. It was pouring rain. Kathy is at Sun Valley Mall, the local mall in Concord. She waits for the light patiently. The light turns green. She got about halfway at the intersection. Woman comes down off the freeway doing about 60 miles an hour, hit the driver's side door, crushed it. Luckily, Kathy was not hurt. Kathy managed to back up and go back into the parking area, and the woman pulls in, rolls down the window, says, F you, it's your fault, and drove off. Nobody got the license plate number. So, yeah, I had, let's see, what is that, 10 to 1,000. I had 100, and I had 110 $100 bills. And I didn't want to spend it. I just wanted to stare at it for about 10 years. You know? I didn't want to buy a car with it. It was like, wow, you know. So we got a check cashing place to cash the check for us because we didn't want to wait, and they took $500 out of that money as their cut, but that was okay. And the woman had to go to the bank and cash the check and bring the cash back. That was interesting. They didn't have $10,000 in the check cashing place, which surprised me. The place where you get money. So I would love to be in the movies, but I'd have to get my teeth fixed. In the old days, the actors all got their teeth capped. And it's kind of hard to get your teeth capped when you have no teeth. I need dentures. So I don't know where the regulars are at, or irregulars for that matter. And by the way, please click the like button, because if you like my videos, because it gets YouTube, what is the name of that thing? I can't remember the name. Their computer thingy that looks at a video and recommends it to people to watch the video. The more likes you get, the more people watch the videos. So, and of course, you can join the channel for $3.99 or $6.99 a month, where you get content that you see nowhere else. And sometime this year, I have to go back to my AlienCon 2018 videos to find a link to my store, which sells the Guy from Pittsburgh merchandise. But I'm going to try to get somebody to create a channel member gift, physical gift this year. I just got to pay someone to do it. Thank you, Papa Emeritus. That's most kind. I appreciate that. And algorithm, thank you, which is not algorithm, which is Al Gore dancing. But that's another story. In Antarctica, where everything is melting. Well, it's not melting. So, okay. Boy, I talk a lot. I'm winded now from talking. My chest is hurting because I've done so much coughing since COVID and then getting bronchitis last Friday and then food poisoning. It's been a rough week. But I'm better. I ordered, here's a cup. I don't know if you can put this in the microwave. This is the War Wonton cup that I ordered from DoorDash, and some steamed rice and the bottle of Martinelli's and the bottle of ginger ale, which settles my stomach. And I was able to eat solid food for the first time since Monday without running to the bathroom. So I'm better. I had horrible cramps, and I didn't have a fever. I'm 98.6 now. I got my digital thermometer today in another video. So I'm better. But I was sick as a dog. I don't know why they say sick as a dog, but I was not well and felt my eyes were swollen, my head was swollen, my nose was running. That's not me. What the hell? Look at this. Little girl is not on the bed. She's sleeping on my clean towel. Or she's washing. She's up there. You can't see it because of the light. She's in the clothes rack. You silly girl. Where is she? I don't know where I put the iPhone. Oh, hold on. The evil trolls, one troll complained about how I got these plugs plugged in, but when the thing's not on, it's not drawing a lot of power. Okay. This is the Anchor charging brick. But I don't think either of them do USB-C. I'm not sure. So this is another charging brick I have for my devices. And eventually I have to go to all USB-C. Where is my iPhone? Things fall into the bookcase and then they get stuck under the bed. There's my iPhone. Hold on now. Oh, God. Ha! I snagged it. Okay, the only problem is there's not enough light to capture. Aha. Hold on. We have a video opportunity here if this thing charged, which it didn't do. God, that's annoying. Why isn't this charging? Because it may or may not. Oh, it's not plugged in. That's a good reason. The cord came out. Excuse me. Oh, that's annoying. And the Android phone, I have yet to figure out how I'm going to copy stuff to the Android phone. Let's see if this will charge. Hello. Go figure this. Alright, we're going to switch bricks. Not Dr. Bricks. Of the evil Bricks Pouchy Combine. Okay, let's see. Will charge. It doesn't, there we go. Has trouble getting in there. Well, it may or may not charge with this. I don't know. Well, that's annoying. Why need an iPad? Maybe I can take a still picture. There is a way to connect it to my Mac Mini, but I haven't figured that out yet because I have to figure out what I disconnect. And let's see. There's a little girl. Here is little girl on my clothing rack. Sleeping. Not on the bed. On my clean green towel. Because cats sleep anywhere they want. This is George Senda, the guy from Pittsburgh. I looked thinking she was on the bed, and she's not. She's on the clothing rack sound asleep. Have a great day, people. Oh, this is so funny. I never expected her to be up there. You never know where cats are going to go. Bye-bye for now. Hopefully I can get this published to YouTube somehow. So it's silly cat. All right. I'll try to figure something out. So I want a MacBook so I can transfer the video. Yeah, she's right there, but you can't see it because my bathrobe and the vacuum cleaner and the lamp are blocking it. But she's sitting there, lying there asleep. No, that's her name, little girl. She's a female long-haired black cat. Very gentle and sweet. Little girl, don't worry about it. I've never had children. I have cats. I've had 25 cats or more in 45 years. Kathy has cats too. She has 2 rescue cats that were being abused, Cleo and Caesar. She's had them now. August was 4 years. In fact, she complained on the phone last night. I woke her up. She said, I'm trying to go back to sleep, Cleo. Why are you on my pillow? I can't sleep on the pillow. And I said, with a trick to that, you get 2 pillows. You put one pillow next to you, and one pillow for them and one pillow for you. But invariably, they will sleep on your pillow. I have the problem with they sleep. Fluffy likes to sleep right in front of the Steelers blanket. They both like the soft Steelers blanket. I got to move that lamp. The lampshade is crushed. Invariably, no matter where you want to sit, or I've sat on little girl accidentally because I go to sit on the bed, I don't see her, and she's on the bed underneath me. I go, little girl, don't sleep on the bed. I'm trying to sit down and do a video. But she's very cute. When my beloved, there she is. I'm live in a video. I tried to call you. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Call you later. There's Kathy. There's Kathy, my girlfriend. I can sit here for 23 hours. She doesn't call. The minute I try to go to sleep or do a live video or do a non-live video, she calls. I don't know what it is. She got radar or something. Maybe she got a spy camera in here, but I don't think so. Little girl is a long-haired black cat. When I had Fuzzy, the little baby cat, the black and white long-haired baby cat that got murdered by this maniac who gave her antibiotics, she went into shock and got hit by a van and broke her neck and died. Little girl never meowed. Little girl never cuddled. Little girl was always frightened of me. Now she squeaks. I went down the courtyard to look at the mail. I go, pretty little girl. When in the house, she wags her tail like that. When I go, pretty little girl, little sweet girl, she wags her tail. Fluffy wags his tail when I go, baby boy, my boy, and he wags his tail. They know what you're saying. I don't know if they know the sound or they know the words, but they're very smart. She's very gentle, but she's always frightened. Now, this lady came in to look at the apartments today, and I told her stuff, and the guy I was talking to, he had to interject himself. Well, that's not really what happens here. And he didn't live here. He's a caregiver, but I've been here 17 years. God help me. I want to move so badly into somewhere bigger, like a house. And that may come. And little girl went down, and I said, pretty little girl, and she wagged her tail, and she flopped. She never flops. But she flopped in the courtyard because she was happy. But I brought her up here because I go to the store, the credit union. She followed me to the senior center where I feed Tiny One, the little black cat, and Gray, and little gray tabby. Very sweet and gentle cats. She cries all the time. Hold on. No, she's asleep. I'm not going to wake her up. You can't see a black cat wave her tail from way over there anyway. So, Fuzzy was sneezing and coughing because she, like Fluffy and little girl, had a respiratory infection. I finally got antibiotics for them. Little girl was over it But Fluffy is still sneezing. Well, he came up to me. I gave your kids antibiotics because she was sneezing. And I said, why? I never got an answer. What did you give her? I never got an answer. She was at the edge of the balcony. I should have grabbed her and brought her in. And I thought, well, she'll be okay. I didn't realize she was in shock. And I looked everywhere for half an hour later. I couldn't find her. And 2 days later, this idiot comes to my door. And a woman knocked at my door at 8:30 in the morning. She said, your cat's dead. And I went to respiratory distress. My ulcer came back. I was crying so much. It's my baby, my little baby. Even the apartment manager, assistant manager said, the baby is dead? I said, yeah, Fuzzy is dead. I love the baby. Everybody loved Fuzzy. So, there's Fluffy sneezing wherever he went to. Oh, he's by the door. He went out. Excuse me, I'm going to let him out. He's obsessed with going out. I have no weather stripping on the door. He's sneezing again. I know. I got to get him to a vet when I have money. And little girl. All right, you. Missed your mouth. All right, go ahead. It is a very nice, sunny and warm day today. I got 2 pieces of mail, but not what I was expecting. I got a thing for velvet. I don't know what this, some store I've never heard of. Sunrise Drive Sweet A. I have no idea what this is. And then I have a subscription for Kathy because she had a subscription. She never got her magazines. She loves Tea Time magazine. So I got that today. So she'll be happy to get that. I haven't looked at it yet. She collects teacups and teapots. And here we go needing a car. And because it made her feel happy to buy stuff. Earlier in the year, she spent $300 on teacups. And I looked at her like, are you nuts? Those are kind of pretty, but I don't know what. Her taste and my taste are not the same things. But this is an interesting magazine. We're going to go to tea restaurants and have scones. Kathy loves scones. I don't like them. And they sit there in high tea. And they give you these sandwiches that you would starve to death because they're very small. So, there's a place in San Francisco that may or may not still be around. A lot of places have gone during the epidemic. And they put trees inside and racks with scones. And you have to make reservations. And this one place we went to, I bought tea that it's still in my cabinet. I forgot to drink it. It's Edinburgh. Scotland. And I'd like to see Edinburgh. It's interesting. The art of the scone. Perfecting the art of the art. To me, scones are very dry. But she went with Judy, her late girlfriend, to tea places, and Patty. Excuse me. Still coughing. And so I got her a subscription to that. So that was the mail today. I did not go to the post office. It's past time, and I do have to go cat feeding. But I have no device. Excuse me, I have to use my air machine at the conclusion of this video because I'm still coughing. When I use I went downstairs several times and the pollen gets to me and it starts clogging my nose and making me cough. George, what did you do? Hold on. I just unplugged the iPhone. That was stupid. There we go. It is charging. This is not cellular because it's not connected to a phone, and I don't want to spend $50 on T-Mobile. So to get cellular service, that's the only device cable I have. I have 3 iPads that don't work. My MacBook doesn't work. My other MacBook doesn't work. My iBook definitely doesn't work. And all of my other computers that I could not take with, I can't lug a 21-inch computer outside and running around on the bus. I'm not about to. They don't work either. They're broken or stopped working. I need a new iPod and I need a new iPhone. And if people would donate to Super Chat, that would help pay for cat food, cat litter, cat food for the outdoor cats, and free up money I don't spend on that toward getting new equipment. And Super Chat, unfortunately, YouTube takes 30% of revenue for Super Chat. And I get excuses why people can't donate. I can't afford it. And there is a video clip that's very funny by someone I know on Twitch. Woman says, you can afford $5 a month to watch my videos. Well, actually, we need $7.50 because they take a cut skimmed off the top. And they take 30%. So if you give $7.50, the creator gets $5. And I've told people I believe you should support the creator. I donate to other channels, Lucky Ferals and a few others. Not much, $2, $3, $5, but anything is a help. And I see other channels doing live videos, live walking videos, where they get 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100. One guy got $1,000 in a Super Chat. I almost fell off the bed. Couldn't believe it. Wow, $1,000. And so it goes. So I hope to get, I found a place where I can get a 2014 MacBook. I can pay a little more to get a 2 terabyte hard drive and put all the memory I can in it. It does not have the dreaded evil crappy butterfly keyboard on it. I can get it for $200. So when I have the money, I'll get that. Then I can see what I'm doing. I put the iBook in front of me. That was weird. Something just flashed red. I don't know why. And the iBook will enable me at least to go Wi-Fi at a coffee shop. And maybe go live, maybe not. I don't know. I know I used to be able to do videos at the coffee shop on the iPad, but I don't think I've ever done on the MacBook. I don't remember. The problem you get 70, you got CRS disease. CRS disease, you can't remember S, the S word. So, and I have moved some of this stuff in the hallway. Little girl won't like it. I'm going to take, when the cats go outside one day, I'm going to take everything off the rack. I've torn up a couple boxes up there. I'm saving a few for laundry. When I finally get to do the laundry, now that I'm feeling well, I'm going to do the laundry tonight if I can. I was still feeling terrible yesterday. I would have done some of it. I was too sick to do anything. And take everything off of there and then move I have 2 bins of laundry, one of which may or may not have done by Patty because a lot of stuff she claimed to wash smells musty. I may have to rewash it. I got a whole bin of socks. And then that rack, which will fit in the hallway, and then I got to put everything back. And little girl won't be able to easily jump on the clean gray towel and the washcloth that's sitting there. Something's sitting there. I'm not sure what it is. I think it may be a towel, a small dish towel. And I will lose space for putting my, I think, hang things on the end that have nowhere to hang. But then the scooter, when I get it, will go there. Assuming that Medicare approves it, I'll get my new scooter in 2 weeks. I got to move that. I can't really keep the scooter outside all the time. Somebody might steal it. So that's my immediate plans for the next week. Assuming nothing else happens, I don't get dizzy and fall and kill myself. I'm taking Antivert for dizziness and nausea. And the nausea, I got nausea the other morning in the bathroom and went and took that and the nausea went away. But I'm well now in that respect. Still coughing though, as you can see, and my nose is still running. My dream of making enough money to move out of here to somewhere where there's no grass. So, trains, well, they're not here. They're not here where I live. They're very noisy. They are, what the hell? Oh, I wonder what was going on. The reflection from something red is on my MacBook charger, and I kept going, why am I seeing lights there? The train station and the freight and Amtrak line is, I have to count this off in my head, 1, 2, 3, depending which direction you go, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks away. And they come down, and there's a rail crossing. Actually, there's two. There's one on Ferry Street where I live, and there's one on the road that goes across to go to the back of the marina. And so they have to, they have to do that every time they go through a rail crossing. So day and night, you hear train noises. So that's what you're hearing. They're half a mile. I always heard a mile is either 10 blocks or 12 blocks, so it's 3/4 of a mile, almost a mile. City blocks, I don't remember how many miles is a city block. The machine will tell me we disagree. So I walk to Amtrak. It takes about 20 minutes, and I sit and wait for the bus, because that's where the end terminus is for the county connection. And the clock doesn't work at the Amtrak station. It stopped working before daylight savings time. It's stuck at 4:45. And I don't know why they don't fix it. That's a fairly new. The old Amtrak station is down the road at the other crossing, the old wooden one, like you saw in old movies. And it still had the docks for unloading, and they had the Railroad Express dock. It was used for civic functions before the pandemic, but I don't know if it's being used now, but they didn't tear it down. So that's why you're hearing train noises all the time in the background, particularly when I have the door open. When it gets too hot in here. And I have the door closed because I start gasping for air with the pollen. Like, I don't like the heat. Somebody asked how hot to get in here, and I said the corner apartment, it's gotten as high as 107. Because the sun beats in my apartment. They cut down all the trees. They cut down the giant tree here because people say, it had pollen in it. We have trees in the street that do the same pollen. People getting sick. That raised the temperature by the stairwell right in front of me by 10 degrees. They cut down all the trees in the street. So the sun beats in the white wall of my apartment. In the summer, I roast. In the winter, I freeze. And Fluffy tore the carpet out under the door. Tried to tunnel under the door and tore the weather stripping off the door. And sometime this year I'll go to Home Depot, take a picture of it, show them what I need, measure the thing again. It's about 35 inches. And see if I can find the plug to my Craftsman electric screwdriver or my drill. I got this big tool drawer and a secondary tool drawer for stuff that doesn't fit in the tool drawer. And put the weather stripping back on. I had foam weather stripping. He tore all that off. He wants to go out. I'm surprised he was not on Hogan Zero, which was digging a tunnel out of camp. He also loves to scratch the cat scratchers. So does little girl. So did Fuzzy. She used to sleep on the cat scratchers. They do that sometimes. So that's what's going on, and that's why you don't see live videos. I will take videos of Tiny One and Little Girl, not Little Girl, sorry, Little Sweet Gray. When I remember to bring the iPhone and when it's fully charged. Now this thing has been charging. It's lost 7% power. I've got to have more power, Captain. And this has got 20%. So this will take a while. But it's weird. I plug it into the charging brick. It doesn't charge. So I got to figure out. I got to take all these down with the iPhone, a working iPad, what chargers go with what devices, and then maybe put a label on them. And this goes to the iPad. This goes to the iPhone. Somewhere in the boxes, I have a broken iPhone, not iPad, 4S or 5, and I have a 5S. But Apple no longer supports those. So what I would like to get is an iPhone 8 or an iPhone X. I think it's an X. I can't keep track of all the myriad of iPhones. I do have Mac Tracker, but the problem with Mac Tracker on my computer, it's in really small print, and then I have to stare at the screen and try to figure out what it's saying. Let me look at something here. Is that my... Well, yeah, there we go. There's Mac Tracker. And they have iPhone, and they list every iPhone ever made. But the problem is, okay, the iPhone 10, no, XS, iPhone 10 came out in 2019. No, that's another. I can't read that. God. The iPhone 7 came out in 2019. The iPhone 8 came out in 20. No, 20. That doesn't make sense. How could the iPhone 8 come out in 2017? Oh, last one was September 20. No, April 2020. And the iPhone X came out in 2018. This is really XS 2019. XS Max 2019. XS 2021 11. Anyway, I found a refurbished iPhone for about $200, so I'll get a newer iPhone. I follow Mac Tracker almost religiously when I get older Macs. I'm also getting another Macintosh because there's some software on that one, but that's another animal. So, and the sinus infection that I've got also gives me headaches. I thought I had COVID again. It scared the hell out of me. I don't. Okay, it's time to go feed the cats. And I will not be taking the iPhone to do a video because it's not charged fully. I want it charged before I go out and feed kitties. Tomorrow it's supposed to be rain again. And this is the last day. And they're sending me notifications for YouTube and podcast on the screen. Now the iPhone, I will say one thing. To use a quote from Star Trek II, yours is superior. As Khan's henchmen talk to Khan, the iPhone is far more superior than this crappy Android phone. And there they're telling me about what's new in Apple Podcast, which I haven't listened to for ages. And I can use this as long as I have a Wi-Fi signal as a computer, but I cannot use it as a phone. So it gives me all my millions of emails, including, I had 1,000 spam emails today, which is always fun. And the particular entity that says, your mail will be here today, well, it didn't get here today. I got to go next week to the post office to find out what happened to my cat food and file a claim for my lost money. Your item will be arriving soon or may have already been delivered. That's like saying I'm going to win the Publishers Clearinghouse. Where's Ed McMahon when I need him? He's dead. That's where Ed McMahon. So everybody seems to put everybody to sleep. Like, excuse me. All right, I'm going to go. Have a great evening. Is it Friday yet? You said it's Friday. I lose track of time. My nose is dripping again. I apologize. It keeps running all the time. It doesn't have track shoes, but it runs, drives me nuts. I have to treat my nose with salt water. It stops it. Then the salt water drains out of my nose, which gets me all wet and yucky. Have a great weekend. A great night. Stay warm. You just got... I got stuff earlier, but I did a member video and an unboxing video, but you'll have to watch the video. I found that, well, I got 3 things. This came in the mail. It's Kathy's subscription, but it's my name because she had problems getting her subscription. She loves tea time. She collects teacups and teapots. I can't understand it, but then I collect computer stuff. And I got a card for a store named Velvet, which I've never even seen before. Oh, I had read this side. World-class cannabis. Well, now we know what Velvet is. Unique location. A clean, relaxed space conveniently located near the Route 4 680 interchange. Velvet rope treatment. well-informed staff, rotating specials. Do the specials rotate? I don't know. Do they go like this? Did the pot spin? A refined experience centered on you. World-class cannabis, specially curated and reliably stocked with top brands and adventurous picks. 20% off your next order. And I have no idea what this stuff is in here. And then I found this book downstairs. From the Dawn of Time, Computing Time, an original book on CompuServe from 2000, with the original disc still unopened. It blew my mind. CompuServe was bought by H&R Block. They sold it to somebody else, and Verizon bought them and AOL, and then merged it on to Yahoo. So, have a good night. Stay safe. Hope your water is clean, because a lot of India water is not clean in some areas. They have to filter it. I watched a video on that. Okay, I'm going to go now because my voice is going. Stay safe, stay dry, stay out of standing water on the freeway. We hit a new record for snow in the California, highest amount of snowpack ever, which is great. I will catch you next time. Don't take any wooden CDs. And that'd be interesting. Could you copy a CD on a wood? I don't know. Maybe burn it in with a wood burner. And I'll catch you next time. This is George Senda, the guy from Pittsburgh. Click the like button. Get your friends to subscribe and join the channel for $3.99 or $6.99 a month. And sometime this year, I will promise I will pay someone on Fiverr to design something that I can sell to my channel members. I've been felt guilty, but if they want to give me their address, some people are reticent about giving me their address and their phones. And someone that I know thinks that what I talk about is all an act. Nothing unless I do a video where I'm singing and create lyrics to a song is scripted, unless it's something I've already written down that I'm reading off of. Everything is out of the top of my head when I can remember it. And sometimes I forget mid-sentence. Bill Cosby had the same problem 40 years ago. When we saw him in Reno, he got up to go to the kitchen, and my friend Paul has the same problem, so do I. You get old, you go, why do they go to the kitchen? Then you have to jog your memory a little bit, like you restart it. You reboot your brain, and now I remember why I went to the kitchen. So it's a problem when you get a certain age. You can't remember why you got up, and it also drives you crazy. Okay, that's it for now. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming in. And thank you from India. I don't get a lot of guys coming in from India. And I appreciate it. Okay, bye-bye for now. Yep.